Let us look at Article 12, Paragraph 4 of the India-USA Treaty. And this deals with fee for included services. For the purposes of this article, which is Article 12, fee for included services means, what this implies is that this is an exhaustive definition. If something is not covered as an FIS, fee for included services, for the purpose of this article, then that will not amount to FIS, and therefore it will not be taxable if it is outside the coverage of FIS, because of the fact that the conditions of this article are not completed. Payments, again, there has to be a payment of any kind. Any kind means something which is covered within the scope of this article to any person. The nature or the constituency of the applicant is not relevant. In consideration for, we had a long discussion on this aspect when discussing royalty, so I'm not going to get into the details again. The rendering of any technical or consultancy services. Now basically what happens is that in most of the treaty, including the act, you are going to find out that the word used are managerial, technical and consultancy services, right? I mean, all these three are alternate, but three of them are found in every treaty relating to the definition of FTS. But under the Indian-US treaty, right, the term managerial services is not included, which means if a US resident provides managerial services to an Indian company, these will not be covered under FIS, right? So consideration for rendering technical or consultancy services, including through the provision of services of technical or other personnel. So these services could be rendered through the use of some technology, right? Or even through the provision of services of technical or other personnel, if such services. The use of the word if such services points out to the fact that even though something is covered within the four corners of these first three lines, it will not amount to FIS unless it is covered under either A or B. So if such services are ancillary and subsidiary to the application or enjoyment of the right, property or information for which a payment described in paragraph 3 is received, right? What was paragraph 3? Paragraph 3 was basically royalty. So if you allow someone the use of an equipment which amounts to royalty, and alongside you also provide certain services which are ancillary and subsidiary to the application or enjoyment of that equipment, the right to use that equipment, then that will be covered as FIS. Second, make available technical knowledge, experience, skill, know-how or process, or consist of development and transfer of a technical plan or a technical design. Now what this means is, and we are going to discuss in detail the meaning of the term make available, because this is one of the most differentiating factor which is there in the India-US treaty and makes a lot of difference to the taxability of the payment under consideration. So if a payment makes available technical knowledge, experience, skill, know-how or process to the recipient, right? So suppose a service provider and service recipient exist. When a service provider provides a service, he makes available any of the following, which is technical knowledge, experience, skill, etc., to the service recipient, then it will amount to FIS. What is make available? While we are going to see the technical definition, what this means is that if X, so let's say X is the service provider, provides the services to Y, if the mode of service is such that he enables Y to himself perform these services next time around, it is said that he has made available the technical knowledge etc. to Y, right? Or consist of development and transfer of a technical plan or a technical design. We'll see example for this as well. So meaning of FIS, services which are ancillary and subsidiary to royalty, right? Which all services are covered? Technical, managerial, consultancy. In India, US, this is not covered. These two are covered. But when are these services covered? These are covered when they make available. If they do not make available, not covered within FIS and hence not taxable. What this means is if a nature of service is technical or consultancy, but by virtue of application of make available clause, it does not amount to FIS, then a stand can be taken that these services are not taxable, right? Provision of services of other personnel, technical or other personnel, is also covered here. So what is a managerial services? A manager basically administers or supervises the affairs of the business. He decides how a business is to be run. He controls, directs, and administers the business. And then the management refers to the management of the affairs that are directed towards adoption and carrying out of the policy of the organization. Right? If these conditions are satisfied, they amount to managerial services. Technical services, they are the ones which involve or concern with mechanical arts and applied sciences. They require some special skills or knowledge relating to a technical field for the provision of services. However, if you are just using technology, but there's no human touch, it is not amounting to technical services, right? And again, in case of a sale agreement versus a service agreement, agreement for services are covered under this clause, sale agreement are not covered. Consultancy, that means basically that you are seeking certain advice or opinion or recommendation of a person. Advised by a person like a professional having certain special qualifications, etc. Advice of a routine nature are not covered. Technological expertise is not essential to provide consultancy services.